Hello everyone, I'm Frank, and welcome to Frank Puzzles, and this is today's easy level puzzle. And take that easiness with a grain of salt because it's considered easy by the people on the Logic Masters Germany forum, and there's a lot of really smart people there. Today's puzzle is called Inception by Sumanta Anu, and here are the rules. A puzzle for the start of my YouTube channel. Okay, very cool. And in the thermometer, shapes... Okay, so these are in the thermometers, essentially, digits must strictly increase from bulbs to the tip. So therefore, so a valid thermometer here would be, for example, 1, 3, 4, 5, 7, right? Because it's continuously increasing from the bulb to the tip. If we made this a 9, this would not work because the 9 is greater than the 5 and it's not increasing this way toward the tip. So that's how thermometers work. The sum of digits in each cage is given at the corner of the respective. The sum of the digits in each cage is given at the corner of the respective cages. So therefore, these two digits add up to 11. These two digits add up to 11. These two digits add up to 12. And these two digits add up to 12. And they're called killer cages normally. So therefore, that's how killer cages work. The digits on a black lines must strictly be in between. Okay, I guess these are gray. So the digits on these in-between lines must strictly be in between the digits connected on the attached empty circles. So basically, these lines are called in-between lines because the digits on them must be in between the two endpoints of the line. So basically, and it's the same for these. These two must be in between these two digits, and these 4 digits must be in between these 2 digits. So a valid example would be if this were a 1 and this were 8, and you had, say, I don't know, 4, 6, 3, and 2. All of 2, 3, 4, and 6 are between 1 and 8. And that's how between lines works. And the last rule is the gray circles contain odd digits. So all of the circles must contain odd digits. And those are all the rules. If you like to play along, there's going to be a link in the description. And now, I'm going to get started. Let's go. Okay, so for this, I like numbering these things. So this is 9, 8, 7, 6, or 5. This could at most, which means this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 3 through 7, 4 through 8, and 5 through 9. Similarly, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So this has to also be 5 through 9, 4 through 8, 3 through 7, 2 through 6, and 1 through 5. And I think it works the same here too, right? Yeah, this is 5 through 9. This is 5 through 9. This has to be 4 through 8, 3 through 7, 2 through 6, and 1 through 5. So same through here. This is 1 through 5, 2 through 6, 3 through 7, and 4 through 8. Well, where is the 2 in box 5? It can only be one of these 2 cells, because none of these could be 2 here. We know the 1 is already here. So this pair of digits, again, this must be an odd number. So all the circles must be odd digits, and none of them can be a 1. So therefore, this is 3, 5, 7, 9. Now, 3, 5, 7, 9 can only be with 2, 4, 6, and 8 to add up to 11. But 2 obviously cannot be in the column, in the rest of the column, because we know the 2 in box 5 has to be in column 5 already. Therefore, this cannot be 2 and 9, but this could still be 4, 6, or 8. 4, 6, and 8 with 3, 5, 7. Same here. This is 4, 6, or 8 with 3, 5, 7. In addition, okay, so where are 2 and 4 in the rest of row 5. Can't be any of these because of the thermometers. Can't be these two because those have to be odd. So therefore, this must be 2 and 4, and this must be 2 and 4. Or 4, sorry. 2 or 4. And where's the 3? The 3 has to be one of these two cells because none of these could be 3. Okay. This is either 3, 9, 4, 8, or 5. Well, maybe we should look at between lines. What digits can be on the between lines? It can only be 2 through 8. So for this digit, you can only have 2 through 8 in the between lines, possible. For this between lines, you can only have 2 through 8 in the between lines. And for this, you can only have 2 through 8, right? So 1 through 9 has to be one of these 5 cells in box 1, and one of these 5 cells in box 1, and one of these 5 cells in box 1, or box 9. Box 3 and box 9. Apologies. Does that really tell us anything? Not particularly. One thing is, though. I could do this the easy way. Yeah. Maybe we can do this the easy way. I guess. The easy way is basically if you use Fistemafel's theory. Fistemafel's ring theory, which was a theory of invariant, actually in normal Sudoku, which came up which I discovered many years ago during the pandemic. I might have been around a decent amount of time before. But near the start of the pandemic, which is when actually I got into variant Sudoku quite a bit, I learned about the Fistemafel's ring theory, and this looks like a very easy way to actually use that. Okay, so Fistemafel's ring theory, let me explain. In the specific 16 cells that surround box 5, in any Sudoku, all 16 digits must be the exact same as the 16 digits in the corners 2x2 areas of the puzzle. So these 16 green digits are exactly the same as the digits in the orange area. And here's essentially the proof of it. Which Fistemafel came up with, and he was a user in the community who was really brilliant setter, really brilliant person in general. Probably a mathematician, I think. I don't even know, but just a really smart person. And basically, this is how the theory went. Take the 5 rows, row 3 through row 7, and you know in this region there have to be 5 sets of the digits 1 through 9, just by normal Sudoku rules, right? Because you have 5 rows, they all must contain 1 through 9. So we know there's 5 sets of 1 through 9s in these 5 rows. Now, if you remove the center box, you know that's a set of 1 through 9 of the digits 1 through 9 also. So you have 5 digits. So now the remaining green area has to be 5 digits, 5 sets of digits from 1 through 9, minus 1 set of digits from 1 through 9. So you know the green area now has 4 sets of the digits 1 through 9. And if we basically take the orange cells and we basically take the columns that are on the outsides of of the puzzle, and we imagine what are the sets of digits that we have here. Well, it's 4 columns, so therefore you have 4 sets of the digits 1 through 9. So you have, in the green area, 4 sets of the digits 1 through 9. In the orange area, the 4 digits of the cells from 1 through 9. And the ones where they overlap are exactly the same digits. So these are obviously shared by both of the regions. But if you just remove then all of the shared regions, all of the shared cells in the region, you then know that you're removing the exact same digits from the 4 sets of 1 through 9. Therefore, these cells, then, the remaining green cells, must be exactly the same as the remaining cells in the orange region. And that's how you got Fist-Maffel's theory, ring theory. So that's very useful. Now, the thing is, in the between lines, the between lines can only contain digits from 2 through 8. And guess what? In 12 of the boxes in the corners, you have digits that are on in between lines. So 1 and 9 cannot be in those cells. And in these 2 cells are 2 cages that add up to 12 each. Now, 1 cannot be in any of those cells, but you could have a 9. So 1 can't be in any of the in any of the between cells, so it can't be any of these. And then 1 cannot be in any of these cages because that adds up to 12, and those can only be 3 or higher, right? You can have 3, 9, 4, 8, or 5, 7. So in Fist-Maffel's ring, you can never have a 1. So therefore, none of these can be 1. So that will shrink what's possible in the rest of the cells. So this can no longer be 1. This can't be 1, which means neither of these 2 can be 2. These can't be 3 anymore, and these can't be 4, and these can't be 5. Similarly, these can't be 1 anymore, which means these can't be 2, because it's always increasing from the thermometer. These can't be 3, these can't be 4, and these can't be 5. Well, where does that leave 3 in box 5? Cannot be any of these anymore, can't be any of these anymore. Therefore, this has to be a 2, 3, 2, 3 pair. In addition, where is the 5 in row 5? Well, it can't be any of these 4 cells, so therefore it must be one of the cells on the edge. Because we have a 6, 7, 8, 9 quadruple, you can think of it that way. The 6, 7, 8, 9 quadruple eliminates 6, 7, 8, or 9 from the rest of the row. So this is 3 or 5, and this is 3 or 5. Okay, so therefore, this cage of 11 can no longer be 3 and 8, and this cage of 11 can never be 3 and 8. Now we have a 5, 7, 5, 7, and a 4, 6, 4, 6 pair. Which means that the rest of we have a 5, 7, 5, 7 pair and a 4, 6, 4, 6 pair, which eliminates 4, 5, 6, and 7 from the rest of the column. Therefore, this must be 8 or 9, and this must be 8 or 9. Therefore, we know we have at least one 9 in the ring. And since we have a 9 in the ring, and the 9 can never be in the between lines, therefore, it must be in one of these 12 cells. So one of these 12 cells must have a 3 and a 9. But that's the only 9 possible in the corner cells. Since that's the only 9 possible in the corner cells, that means this is the only 9 in Fist-Maffel's ring. Which means this can't be 9 and this can't be 9. Which makes this not 8 because this has to be less than this digit. This cell has to be less than that. So therefore, this can't be 8, this can't be 7, this can't be 7. These 2 can't be 6s, and these 2 can't be 5s. Which means the 9 has to be one of these 2 cells in box 5. Let's see. Okay, what else do we know about this? Again, there cannot be any other 9s. This can't be 3. Um, Therefore, this can't be 4, this can't be 5, this can't be 6. So, yeah, because the 9 has to go with a 3. In box 7, the rest of the box cannot, aside from this set, cannot contain a 3 or 9. In row 3, we now have a 2, 3, 4, 5 triplet, or not triplet, quadruple. We have 4 cells which must contain the digits 2, 3, 4, and 5 only. So therefore, in the rest of the row, you cannot have a 2, 3, 4, or a 5. Therefore, this must be 1 with 6, 7, 8, 9, and 1, 6, 7, 8, 9, and these are 1, 6, 7, 8, 9, right? Therefore, there has to be a 2 in one of these two cells. There has to be a 5 in one of these two cells because we have a 2, 3, 4, 5 quadruple, and the 5 can only be one of these two. Therefore, in box 2, since this has to be a 5, this can no longer be a 5, which makes that a 7, and therefore this is a 4, which eliminates 4 as a possibility in the rest of the box, which means we have now a 3, 5, 3, 5 pair in row 3, which eliminates 3 and 5 from the rest of the row. So therefore, this is now a 2, 4, 2, 4 pair. Since this is 4 and 7, this has to be 5 and 6 specifically. So this can no longer contain a 5. We have a 3, 5, 3, 5 pair here. So one of these must be a 5, which means it must have a corresponding 6 next to it, right? So one of these is always 5. If this were 5, then this would have to be 6, 7, or 8. If this were 5, this would have to be 6, 7, or 8. Therefore, we know there has to be an 8 in either this cell or this cell. And since there has to be an 8 in one of those two cells, that eliminates 8 from the rest of the cells in row 5. So this cannot be 8. Where is the 8 in box 5 now? It has to be one of these two cells. And again, this must be a 6 to match that, and one of these must be a 7. Also, we have a 4, 5, 6 quadruple in row 4, which eliminates 4, 5, 6, and 7 from the rest of the row. So therefore, this is 1, 2, 3, 8, 9, and this is 1, 2, 3, 8, 9. Okay. That's one thing we know. In box 7, the 9 has to be one of these 4 cells because of Fistman-Fell's theory, right? So therefore, in columns 1 and 2, in box 7, the 9 has to be in columns 1 or 2. Well, what about box 4? Where is the 9? It cannot be any of these cells because of the way that it works with Fistman-Fell's theory. Therefore, the 9 also has to be in columns 1 or 2 in box 4. Therefore, there cannot be another 9 in the cells that are not in these 4 boxes or in the box 4 cells in column 1 and 2. We know there's a 9 for box 7 in columns 1 and 2. We know there's a 9 in columns 1 and 2 in box 4. Therefore, there's no longer a possibility for a 9 to be anywhere in columns 1 and 2 in box 1. So this can't be 9, which means this has to be one of these two has to be a 9. Let's see. One of these two must be a 6. in box 5 because of just the way it works out since one of these is a 5. Therefore, this cannot be a 6 either. None of these can be 6. There cannot be a 6 in the rest of box 5. So this is now a 7979 pair for box. Yes, a 7979 pair. Why can this be 5? Okay. Oh, because this can't be 3. That's the reason why it goes that way. Okay, so we have a 7979 pair in box 5, which means the rest of the box cannot contain 7 or 9. Therefore, this must be an 8. This can't be 8 or 7. This must be a 5, which forces this to be 4, 3, and 2, to be less than the 5. This cannot be 5, obviously. This can't be 2 or 3. This must be a 4, which means this is 5 or 6, and this is 6 or 7. But now we have, so this can't be 5 anymore because of the 5 in box 5. We have a 4, 6, 4, 6 pair in row 4. So that eliminates 4 and 6 from the rest of the cells in that row. So this can't be 6, this can't be 6. We have a 5, 6, 7 triplet in column 3 in these 3 cells, which can only contain 5, 6, or 7, which eliminates 5, 6, or 7 from the rest of the column. Therefore, this must be an 8, which means this can't be 8 or 7 because of the 7, 9 pair in row 5. So therefore, this must be a 6. Since this is an 8, this is a 6, this must be 5 then, which makes that a 7. This has to be 4, this has to be 6, this has to be 3 and 5, and then 2 and 4. So this can't be 7 anymore. This must be a 6, which makes this a 5. The 8 can only be less than a 9, so this is 9, and this is 7. Okay, so of this set, we know you cannot have a 5, 7 as one of the 2 digits in the 12 pair. And the 12 cages, right? It's either 3, 9, 4, 8, or 5, 7, and the 5 in the box eliminates the 5. Therefore, this has to be 3, 9, and 4, 8. So this is 3, 9, and 4, 8 specifically, which means the rest of the box has to be 1, 2, 6, and 7. Well, 6 and 7 cannot be here, therefore they have to be in both of these cells, and therefore this has to be 1 and 2. Since this is 1 and 2, this now has to be 3 and 9 specifically. But we don't know what that specifically has to be. This can no longer be 8. That cannot be 8. Which means one of these 2 is an 8. Let's see, what else do we have? This has to be 1, 8, or 9. Which means the 1 has to be one of those there. The 1 here, 1 can never be in the between line, so one of these has to be a 1, which means this can't be 1. Which means in box 3, where's the 1? It has to be one of these. So this is 1. This has to be one of the 1s. This can't be 6. So this cannot be 1 because of the 1 has to be here. So this has to be 7, 8, or 9 as possibilities. Well, since this has to be 7, 8, or 9, this can never be 8 or 9 because you can never have 4 digits in between it. So therefore, this must be the 1, which means this can't be 1. This has to have 7 in it. We have a 7, 8, 9 triplet now in box 9. Which eliminates 7, 8, or 9 from being in the rest of the box. Therefore, this must be 2, 4, 5, and 6, because it can't be 3. This can't be 6, though. This can't be 5. This has to be 1, 8, or 9, because it cannot be 7. So this is also 1, 8, or 9. And if this is 8 or 9, this is at minimum 6. You can never have 4 digits that are in between 6 with 8 or 9, or 7, 8, or 9, or whatever. Therefore, this must be 1, which means this can't be 1. We don't know about this then. We do know 3, 4, and 5 have to be here, but we're not sure where. So this cannot be 4. It could also have 6, 7, or 8 in between. So, but this can't be 7. This can't be 1 again. Okay, so let's start recoloring this stuff because we don't need the Fistimefel ring anymore from the knowledge that we have. Where is a 2 in box 1? It has to be in the between line. Well, if you have a between line, it can only be, the 2 can only be between 1 and some higher number. So therefore, this must be 1. So this can't be 1. And because of that, and this can't be 1 then, but because of that, you can never have 4 digits that are in between 1 and 3. Therefore, it has to be 1 and 9 here, which makes this a 3, which means this can't be 3. And this has the digits 2, 5, 6, 7, 8. But we're not sure where. Okay, so this is 1 and 2. Okay, so let's start coloring the 8, 9 pairs, because that might make things easier. I'm going to make this blue and this yellow. Where is the other 8, 9 in column 5? It has to be here, so therefore this must be blue. Where is the yellow in box 9? It has to be one of these 2 cells. Therefore, this can't be yellow. This must be a blue, which means the blue has to be one of these 3 cells in box 1. It cannot be here. Again, this is blue and yellow. Yellow cannot be here, but it could be any of these. Blue or yellow's here. Therefore, blue has to be one of these 2 cells, and yellow has to be one of these 2 cells. We're not sure which. What else do we have? This could be, if this were 6, what are the digits between 1 and 6? It cannot contain 2. It would have to be 3, 4, and 5, but it can't be, there's no other digit possible then. So this can never be 6 as the between digit. Let's see. In Fistinafel's ring, we have 2 6s, 3, okay, we have 2 2s. 2 2s? Yes, we have 2 2s. And that matches the 2 here and the 2 here. We have 2 3s, which matches the 3 here and the 3 here. We have 3 4s, which matches the 4 here, the 4 here. Okay, this is, okay, so this must be 4, and this must be 3. So 2 of these are 3, and 2 of these are 4, which means they both have to be 3 or 4. So this is a 3 4 3 4 pair there. The 4 also has to be one of these cells, so that's fine. How many 5s do we have? We have 3 5s, which means there must be a 5 here, which means this can't be 5, and there must be a 5 here in one of these 2 cells. And there must be a 5 in one of these 2 cells, and there's a 6 in one of these 2 cells. How many 6s do we have on the ring? We have 2. This is a 6, and either this is a 6 or this is a 6. We're not sure which. We have, how How many 7s? We have 1 7. So one of these is 7, and one of these could be 7. We have 2 8s, and we're not sure where that is. Okay. Well. Now we're probably just going to do Sudoku then. This has to be a 3. One of those two has to be 3. What's left in this column? It has to be 1 or 8 and 9, right? So the 1 has to be one of these two cells. If it's not, well, okay. Yeah, it can't be, because it can't be 6. So therefore, none of these could be 6. But it has to include one of the 8, 9, the blue 8, 9 there. So what's the other cell that's possible then? This has to be 1, which forces this to be a 3, 7 pair because we have a 1, 8, 9 triplet now in box 8. So this is 1 with 8 or 9, and this is 6 with 8 or 9. So that now we have a 6, 8, 9 triplet in box 2. Where are the 1s and 2s? This can't be 1 because of that 1. Therefore, this must be a 1, which makes this a 2. So this can never be 2 here. So this, now we know the 2 has to be in one of those two cells. This can't be 9. This can't be 7. So we have a 5 with a 6 or an 8, and a 6 or 8, 6, 8, 9 here. This is 3 or 7. This could be any of 7, 8, or 9. That's fine. Let's see. Okay, this can no longer be 4, so this must be a 2, which makes that a 4. So neither of these can be 2. One of these two is a 2. This can't be 4, so this can't be 4 and 8. This has to be 3, 9 then, which means this can't be 3 or 9, so that's 4 and 8. Which means this cannot be 3 or 9. This can't be 8 here, because we have a 3, 9, 3, 9 pair, and we have a 4, 8, 4, 8 pair. What's left in this column? Oh, well, this can't be 5, so this must be 3, which makes this a 5. So this can't be 5, which makes that a 6. This now has to be a 5. This can't be 6 anymore, so that's 7. This is 6. So again, none of these can be 6s anymore. And this can't be 7, and it can't be 8, so this must be the 2, which means this can't be 2. And this can't be 2. So what's left in the column 1? It must be a 3, 9, 3, 9 pair. And in addition, what is the blue? The blue cannot be 5 or 6, so it can't be either of those. Therefore, all the blues are 9. Therefore, this can't be yellow. This can't be blue. The yellow is one of these two. This can't be blue, and it can't be yellow here. But let's just remove all those so we can get the singletons already set. Therefore, all the blues are 9s. And all the yellows are 8s. So this is an 8. This is a 9, which means this can't be 9. And these can't be 8. This is 3 or 9, and this is 3 or 9. Because of the 4, 8 pair and the rest of the column being filled. This is 1 or 2. This cannot be 2 or 3 because of the 2 or 3 already in that box. This can't be 9. This can't be 9. This can't be 9. Therefore, 8 can never be between these two cells because this can never be 9. So this can't be 8. We have a 7, 8, 7, 8 pair in row 3. That eliminates 7, 8 from the rest of the cells in that row. So this must be a 6, which means this has to be a 4. That makes that a 5. That makes that a 2, and that a 6. This can no longer be 2, so this is 1, this is 2. That can't be 1, so this is 9, this is 1. This can't be 9, so this is 3, this is 9. These can't be 9 here, so this is a 7, 8 pair. This can't be 4 anymore, so therefore this is an 8. That makes that 4. That makes that a 7. That makes that an 8. This can't be 7, so this is 3. This is 7. And therefore this is a 3. This is a 4. This can't be 6. Yep, we're just doing normal Sudoku. This is 8. This is 6. This can't be 6 anymore. Therefore, this must be 5 and 7, which are in between 1 and 8. So that works. So therefore, this is 8, which makes that 9. This can't be 9, so this is 3. That can't be 3, so it's 2. This can't be 2, so it's 1. That makes that 2, which makes that 3, which makes that 9. This has to be 8. This can't be 8, so this is 7, which makes that 8. This can't be 5, so that's 7 and 5. And left over is 7 and 1. And that's how you solve it. Pretty straightforward. Very cool use of the thermos and Fistomefel's ring. I could see it being much more difficult if you don't know Fistomefel's ring theory. So, I'm not sure how I would grade this. You have to know Fistomefel's ring theory to make it easy, but it's fairly common knowledge nowadays. Anyways, let me know what you guys think. Was this easy for you guys? Did you have a good time? And I'll see you next time on Frank Puzzles. Take care.